This video is brought to you by my patrons. A big shout out to Anina, Rachel, Clay, Minnie Miss Mai Mai, Maddie, Lilith, Allison, Idalis, Dre, Thomas, Testy Tara, and Null. If you're interested in supporting the channel, the link is in the description.
Hey, Elroy. Mathis wants to see you before practice. He said something about you being moved from third to short for the second half of the season. Yeah, I can see that you're busy trying to pick at someone who deserves absolutely no scrutiny whatsoever, but you should also know that Mathis is talking about moving you down to the 7th spot in the order and moving Reg up to 4. I mean, can you blame him? Reg has been smoking dingers this season, and you're having trouble getting balls out of the infield. What is he supposed to do? Oh, cool, man. I expected nothing less of you. You could come over here and swing on me, which would get you humiliated and suspended simultaneously. Or you could go try and make that meeting with Mathis that you are now, a minute late for. I tried to tell you, but you were a little too busy getting on Short Stack's case here. Now, if you don't mind, we have some things to discuss, so you should probably get to stepping. Bye, Face. You're okay, right, Nerdsworth? I know, but there's a difference between calling someone names out of malice and teasing someone out of affection. And you know our situation is the latter. But I didn't take into consideration how you might have been feeling immediately after going through that, so I am sorry. You are okay, though, right? Yeah, out of that entire group of weirdos, he is definitely the least intimidating. To be fair, it's not really his fault. I mean, you can bench 300, be 6'1", and have the physique of a Greek god, but it's pretty much impossible to get over the hurdle of being named Elroy. Oh, that? I call him Face because there was this dude on the Pirates named Elroy Face, and he hates that. I call him Face because there was this dude on the Pirates named Elroy Face, and he hates that that's the most prominent name he shares in the sport. So why not poke fun at him a little bit? Going where? I'm not needed, actually. It's a position players only practice today. And not to toot my own horn, but I could probably skip every practice if I keep giving coach 7 innings with a sub-2.5 ERA and a 5K to walk ratio. Sorry. I just feel so comfortable around you that I tend to slip into baseball lingo. What I was trying to say is if I keep pitching at a 99th percentile level, Mathis probably wouldn't mind me skipping every practice for the rest of the season. Well, I was kind of hoping that maybe you could skip the mathletes today and we could go watch the game together. There's a softball game happening on the south field that's going to be starting in 10 minutes, and I just thought it could be kind of fun for the two of us to just sit and watch it together. Don't worry, I know you have a thing with crowds, and I wouldn't be asking you if I didn't have a solution for that. This is the key to the door to the roof. Marsden, the janitor, owes me one from when I helped his son train to get onto the JV basketball team. I may or may not have an entire picnic set up there for the two of us, so it would be kind of rude for you to say no after all that effort. Don't you think? No, if you're seriously uncomfortable with it, I would never force you into it. I've just noticed how stressed with everything you've been recently, and I think you deserve to allow yourself to take a break. The mathletes will do fine without you for one practice. You guys don't even have a competition for another 2 months. Of course I listen. You're a very important person in my life, and it doesn't hurt that you are probably the most engaging speaker that the school has. And since our season starts next weekend, I figured this could be a nice way to kinda introduce you to my world a little bit. Yes. Maybe I should join the debate team when we get to university, huh? I'm just messing around, short stack. Now let's get going, because the first pitch is in 3 minutes and we have some chowing down to do on some classic ballpark food. Okay, I can see it written all over your face, and I'll come out and say it. I know I lied about the classic ballpark food, but you had already agreed to come up here with me before that, and I actually think that with the half an hour I had to conjure this all up, some Lunchables and sparkling waters from the Kroger across the street is a pretty solid choice, honestly. Plus, look at the view we have. Got the forest in the background, game in the foreground, and if you look way off into the distance, you can see Mac Riley and Jace Damon making out kind of behind the school. Actually, on second thought, maybe we shouldn't be looking at that. That feels like an intimate moment between the two of them. Anyways, let's focus on the game instead. Let's go! Really? Well, what Rachel was doing was stealing. Anytime that a person gets a hit and gets on one of the bases, they have the option to try and get to the next base, but they have to do it in a way where the other team can't catch them. So they usually try to do it right as the pitcher winds up to throw the ball, so they have the most amount of time to get to the next base with the ball being out of the other team's hands. Thank you. I'd feel kind of bad about myself if I wasn't able to explain the details of my favorite sport that I played for over a decade to someone who is as smart as you. Hey, I hope this doesn't seem too out of the blue or anything, but I just want to let you know how grateful I am that we became friends this year. I was so blind for so long about the type of things the people I thought were my friends were doing when I wasn't around. I've spent countless nights just laying in my bed thinking about the amount of high school experiences I could have prevented from being as shitty as they were if I could have just woken up and smelled the roses. So, the moment that I caught Ryan and Felicia trying to lock you inside Walden's classroom, I knew that I needed to intervene immediately. And so I did. And you didn't have to be kind to me in return. For all you knew, I was friends with the people who had been making you and your friends' lives a living hell for the past 3 years. But you did. You hugged me and you cried and we just stood there for an hour. And here we are. 6 months later, and we've taken them all down, one by one, step by step, helping to ensure an environment where the next generation doesn't have to deal with the things that ours had to deal with. And none of that would have happened if you hadn't hugged me that day. And I don't know if I would have truly understood what a real connection with a person is if it wasn't for you. Seriously. You showed me how people are supposed to treat people they care about, which showed me that throughout my entire youth, people only wanted to be close to me because I was athletic and thus, unfairly, held at a certain place in our social hierarchy. There was never anything there other than base level interactions, but that was all I had ever known, so I couldn't decipher it as such. You are the first friend I made that saw past the aspects that everyone else latched onto. You asked me about my cooking, and video games, and literature, and art, and everything I had been conditioned not to talk to people about. I hope I don't freak you out by saying this, but you are genuinely my miracle. You mean the world to me too. So much so, in fact, that I may have an ulterior motive for bringing you up here. Exactly. It's time for me to reveal myself as an axe murderer. No. I'm just joking, and I am nervous. I have to let you know this, because I respect you, and you deserve to know it, and I don't want to ever come off as leading you on. I like you. A lot. I promise you that our friendship did start off as exactly that, a friendship. But as time passed and we got to know each other more and you opened up a whole new world of thinking to me, I started to realize that I value you on a higher level than simply friendship. So, I guess, could you look down at the field for me for a second right now? Yeah, it does. So, will you go to prom with me and also go study with me? I remember you saying that one of the only extreme things that doesn't trigger your anxiety is a giant public display of affection. And I think that having the softball team spell out prom on the field during the 7th inning stretch appropriately qualifies. Yeah, this is very for real. I know crowds still aren't your thing, and we could leave whenever you want, but I couldn't imagine going to prom without you. So... Great. 1 second. She said yes! Sorry, they needed confirmation to go ahead with the game. Hey, this is for real for you too, right? You didn't just say yes because of the external pressure, because I would hate for you to have felt pressured into that, even though you kinda already said you were alright with it. Well, that answers that, doesn't it, Short Stack? Just because we're dating now doesn't mean you're getting away from my pet names. In fact, you'll probably have a bunch of new ones introduced to the mix. Of course you can. So, do you want to sit and watch the last couple of innings together? Cool. Yeah, I can definitely talk about the game. So it's currently 3-2 and we are in the lead, but the Vipers have Lauren Knowles up and she hits absolute nukes off of left, so the game could be tied up right here. But Marie, has an absolute